Speaking cancer community support is so important and thriving in Israel is because of our next guest, Alona Metz, who's an LA native like me and has changed her life drastically when she was diagnosed with breast cancer at the age of 28. We are happy to have her here with us after a long night last night, which welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And first of all, I have to say, it's very impressive. I mean, we had somebody on to talk about it before. There were a lot of people last night.
Yeah, we actually ended up having over 300 people at the event, which really far exceeded our expectations.
Amazing. So tell us quickly about, not quickly, but your story. You're from LA like me. It's so funny. We went to high school anyway, I'm older than you. But, you had a major crisis in your life that ended up being a wake-up call, and here you are.
Yeah. So when I was 28 years old, at the time I was working in a big law firm, and I felt a lump in sort of my armpit area one day, and I had been working out a lot, so I figured it was something having to do with that. But something inside me told me that I needed to go to a doctor. And at the time, I thought cancer was for old people, and I had no idea that there was any hereditary risk for cancer. And my doctor actually almost sent me home because he said, wow, women your age, it's just so uncommon, come back in 6 months. And then right before I was about to walk out the door, he said, no, wait a second, we need to do an ultrasound. And 3 days later, I got a call saying, you have breast cancer, you need to come in.
Wow. So what was like your initial, response to hear these words?
I was on a conference call at work when he called my cell phone, so I muted the conference call and picked it up, and I can't explain the reaction that I had. It was just like a body reaction. It was very frightening, and the only thing I could do is I went into his office, and over the next several days and weeks, it just started to unfold more and more that I was that 1% of the 1% of the 1%. I was told within several weeks that I was going to undergo chemotherapy, lose my hair, that I needed to undergo fertility treatments, that I was probably going to have a double mastectomy and reconstruction.
So yeah. It was a lot. So I imagine, listen, I know this led to a big life change, and fast forward, you survived it, you came to Israel, and what is it about you that you knew you had to do something with this experience to kind of pay it forward in such a unique, original way?
Yeah, so a couple of things. I mean, first of all, going through that experience really kind of put a mirror in front of my face and made me think, if this was my life, would I be okay with that? And for me, my answer was no. I believe that my purpose in life is to create a meaningful impact on the world. And I knew that not only did I need to do that, but I needed to do it immediately. Because life is short. So I ended up moving to Israel after I had finished all of my treatments, and the doctors sort of, they send you off after you finish your treatments, and you think, okay, great, I'm cancer-free, and suddenly you're back out there in the world, but it's not as if it never occurred. So after I moved to Israel, I moved here without family and with very few friends in the beginning. And suddenly I was being faced with issues like a new medical system, having to get checked all of the time and not having someone to go to appointments with me.
Having to figure out pound 700 to call. Yeah. Listen, I know as an American too, and fortunately, I have Hebrew speakers around me, but it is very challenging. So, I know you did stuff for startups, and what made you decide that this was Thrivacious is a very vivacious name. So how did this come about to use your own experience for others?
Sure. I've always been involved with philanthropic work and giving back to the cancer community. And about 3 years ago, I met someone named Zoe Flammenbaum, who's the founder of School of Shine. And she was doing the only English-speaking breast cancer awareness event in Tel Aviv. She's been doing it for 3 years now. And I contacted her and I said, I'm really interested in volunteering for this cause because it's very close to my heart. She actually became one of my best friends. And we've been doing this event now for 3 years. And this year, when we were sitting there, I kind of knew that I wanted to do something for English-speaking cancer survivors in Israel already. But when we were sitting there, I just saw so many women in our community impacted by cancer. And she said to me, wouldn't it be great if we could actually donate the funds this year to a cause that directly impacts our community? And I said, yeah, you're right. And so
So all of the funds from Breastival are going to you. So this is like, or not to you, but to your organization. And then what, this is, we have to wrap it up, but then what do you do with the funds? Like what kind of programs will go in for
so Thrivacious' mission is to provide a community and supportive programming for women touched by cancer in Israel in English. That includes things like workshops, hopefully at some point a retreat, community events, a mentorship program, and a gift box program for women who are still in treatment, inspired by cancer. Thrivers is what I like to call them.
You're amazing. You're amazing. Really, you're such a light, and it's so nice to meet, other people that understand the value of being in Israel. And also, really, you're fabulous.